My song was "Where Did All the Cowboys Go?" My daddy.
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
Where did all the Cowboys go? So picture me looking like that. So my daddy's like, so wait, you hear my daddy in there. My mom and dad had the most weirdest relationship. Because my mom grew up, and don't get mad, my mama is a straight up hillbilly. She never went to school. You know how you can do a census record on your family and you can find out. My mother does not have not one school record, not one census record, because they lived in a mountain. Mm-hmm. So point being, I remember my mom was a mountain woman, and my daddy is just who he
Arkansas
is.
mountains?
My mama grew up in Holland's Bottoms. That's like right in Lone Oak in Jacksonville. Holland's Bottoms. Let me see. Well, point being, when I was doing, so you know how your parents will whisper in the room?
Yeah.
Hey, Judy, what book? Daughter in there listening to some type of strange shit. Book, she's listening to the stuff her friends be listening to at school. It's called Where Did All the Cowboys Go? I'm going to have her sing it for you. Grace? Yes, ma'am. Come on in here. Your daddy wants to know what you were in there doing. He's like, you in there listening to that bullshit? Is it that gangle bangle music? No, daddy, I'm listening to Where All the Cowboys Go. He said, don't sell no damn cowboy music. Sing it. I'll go wash the dishes.
Holland Bottoms.
Holland's Bottoms. Yeah, it's Holland's Bottoms. I would say that's what my family would call it, but the actual, I guess, is Holland.
I've got something similar to that. Where I'm from, there's a street, Mariposa Street.
Right.
Mariposa Road.
Right.
We always called it Mariposa. You know, it's like, Mariposa.
Mariposa. That's what it is. That's like Lancaster, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. People call it Lancaster.
Yeah.
Out here we got a Lancaster, but they call it Lancaster. But you see how country, I mean, you just look at the city hall. But that's how my mama, see that swampy area?
She might be from the swamp, right?
That's where she grew up at. So they had like a trailer. That probably, go back. My grandpa had a trailer like that. My mama grew up in something like that. But it was more raggedy. Mm-hmm. Goats was eating out the side of the trailer. I bushes, and the swamp was right there.
Okay.
So they grew up like, and my grandpa, and this was so crazy. My grandpa and my uncle were puckwood drivers. Puckwood, or they call it puffwood, but it's puffwood. It's like that, those trees that swell up with water.
Yeah.
And they get built. So they'll uproot those. Mm. The difference was my grandpa Charles stayed poor, and my uncle Jesse made money. Like he had more sense to make money. So down in Lone Oak, because my cousins might sue me for bringing them up.
Yeah.
They have a company called Harris Cabinet Co. And my cousin Peanut runs it. And the only reason why they got the money they did, because my uncle Jesse, not calling my grandpa slow or anything, he had the sense to work, but he wasn't business savvy.
Right.
So he went, my great uncle Jesse went to some of my great aunts and uncles that had a little bit of change, and they invested in his business. And still to this day, people go to my cousin's cabinet company, and that's why they got money to this day. They're like one of the famous people in the town that makes all the cabinets. And that started with my uncle Jesse and my grandpa pucking wood.
Did you ever see this in the swamp?
Judy probably did. Let her tell it. Shit, all them goddamn contusions they had. And it's funny because not bringing up my cousin, I'm going to say her name, Rachel. My cousin Rachel, her daddy was the only one. He played for the Arkansas Razorbacks. My uncle played for the Razorbacks. And the only reason why he got that opportunity was, and he had a little bit more sense, somebody put him in school. I don't know who did it. I don't know the story behind that. But he's the oldest out of all of them. He went to school. And the only reason why he was able to graduate, because me and her was talking about this the other day, the coaches took him in, and my grandparents sent him over to live with the coaches. So he was getting ready to go to the NFL, but he played for the Razorbacks for like 2 years. So he was the only one that made it out of there.
Yeah.
And not needing to tell his story. He's well-to-do. He's doing good. Love my uncle. My family, my mama family, in his eyes, he felt like he was just raising them because the way he gave them money all the time, and he just disassociated, you know what I mean? So point being,
it's hard to bring up people around you when you're kind of trying to
elevate yourself.
Yeah. And it sucks because you feel bad.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I mean, I wish I could help you, but like, the best way I can help you is just let you, like, give you knowledge of what I've done to help me. Like giving you money
Ain't help.
It's not helping unless it's like, very needed.
Yeah.
Right? If you're, if things are really bad and you like need this and like.
And he was like
I
that.
get it.
And the last thing he told them all is when my grandmother died. And I don't blame him. He's like, don't bother me no more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be bothered. And my cousin, she wasn't raised around them because she's a little older than me. And we were talking about that because she really don't know them like that. And I was just teaching her the family history so she kind of understand. But back to my mom and that point being to that song and all that, what they got to do with my mom and her upbringing. My mother didn't understand, probably what made her a little slower to some people. She didn't catch on like everybody. Very loving person.
Right.
But my mother didn't know how to read.
Right.
What was common to you was not common to her.
Yeah.
And it made her very difficult to raise me and my brother.
Yeah.
And she's a survivor, but growing up, the reason why it was funny to me, because me singing that song, my daddy would be going off. Like, that ain't that Tupac shit talking about some cowboy. What the fuck is the Cowboys don't sound like that. So when I started singing the songs, you could hear them in there arguing. She just wants to make friends. Not in my house.
Right.
But it was just, where have all the cowboys gone? And he was like, he would think it was either something sexual.
Right.
She in there sleeping with all these damn cowboys.
Right.
And he was like, he threw the radio out and he's like, read a goddamn book. So that's how my aggressive reading started. Cause
my aggressive reading started. When I saw that radio go out the window, I was like,
he threw that shit. If I catch you out there even touching a piece of that broken shit on the ground, I'm gonna kick your ass. So the first,
you bring a bear cub into my house.
Yeah, exactly.
You're throwing land turtles.
Cost me $2,000 goddamn dollars.
Now you're listening to the goddamn radio talking about cowboys. You little whore.
Yeah, he said some, wait, you little whore.
I'm taking you down to the river to get baptized this weekend.
Girl,